Welcome to the third part of the video series, Finding Inner Peace in Your Own Sense of Being. And in this video we are going to look at the mind, at the thinking process and the language. In the previous videos we looked at what are the obstacles to finding inner peace and what are the expectations and what to do with them. Here today we are going to explore, you are going to explore your own mind and how this thinking process works. My name is Ilona Ciunaite. I'm inviting you to look at the same old stuff, something very usual and something that is always here, from new, fresh, different angles, so you can explore what we already experiencing, but maybe see and catch different things that you never noticed before. Today's video is about thinking mind and all these different aspects of it. Mind as energy and thinking process, mind as a labeling machine, as imagination, mind as a commentator. This is an interesting one. At the end of the video I will invite you to do an exercise where you can see how labeling what is happening affects how we feel about what is happening. I want to start with noticing that we cannot shut the mind down, that it's something going on, regardless we like it or not. We have this thinking process, we have this energy called mind that creates thoughts, creates stories, and it's always on. It's not something that we choose to have here, it's something that is given. Just like eyes are given to see the colors, the mind is given to conceptualize, to have ideas, to have memories, to have projections and imagination. What we learn about the mind usually is from reading or listening to what other people have discovered. And here I'm inviting you to discover what is true for you in your own experience. And for that you don't need any prior knowledge. We'll already have that direct, intimate experience with our own mind. Let's look at the mind as an energy first. If I say mind, where is that mind in your system? Where are you perceiving the mind? Is it around here? Is it around here, or in your knees or feet? Where is that energy called mind? And how is it feeling? Is that mind energy, that what we call mind, is happy, at peace, relaxed, at ease? Or is it in pain? Is it working hard and is it a little bit tired? Well, whatever you perceive, it's fine. It's just we are looking at what is right now. So if this energy is a little bit tight or too intense or too much going on or too painful, then we can just notice that. Just take a note of that and allow it to be as it is. Yes. So it's good to notice that we cannot make the mind to relax. The mind is a self-creating energy. It's not something that I am in control of. If I was in control of it, I could just switch it off and take a break from thinking. Take a break from all these mental processes that are going on. But it's not up to me. Well, some yogis, of course, trained people that meditate a lot, have that ability to quiet, to still the mind. But normal, everyday people don't have that ability. It seems that there is this stream of thoughts constantly going without a break, without even a breath. So we can notice that it is going, it is happening, and it doesn't listen to my objection if it's too loud, too much, too noisy, and so on. If you see that mind is going on, this process is going on automatic, and that I cannot make it to shut up, I cannot switch it off, then what is left is just assistance. How can I help that mind to relax by itself? So we see that energy is here. Okay, it's a lot going on. Maybe not. It depends on the day. But when it's a lot going on, when there is an overthinking happening, how can we meet that energy so we can relax? So it may sound a little bit strange at first, but you can try this. You can thank the mind. You can say, okay, mind, you're very busy. You are doing a lot of work. I see that. I appreciate that. Well, thank you. Thank you for all this work that you are doing for me. And see how that mind feels right away. Because this energy wants attention. It's funny, it's like a little child. It just wants attention. It wants to be good. It wants to be helpful. It wants to be noticed and appreciated. So what we can do is just give that appreciation to the mind, just by saying, mind, I appreciate you. You're such a great mind. Wow. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy you are working for me. And just seeing how that mind responds to that. Do that quietly in your own space, in your own way. Just tell the mind that you appreciate it. And see if that feels a little bit more peaceful. So we can explore this energy from within. We can actually make a conversation with the mind. It's a little bit like if you are standing by a pond and the water is still. And then you take a rock and you throw it. And then you watch the ripples. What happens? So the water is no longer still. It has that ripple going on. So when we have a question, and throw it into this mind pond, then we can watch the ripples and see what comes back. So this way we can observe the processes of the mind in our own environment, where it is. It's just right here. So if I ask this question, dear mind, are you at peace? Just throw the question. Are you at peace right now? And you can watch the answer coming back. It says yes or no, or I don't know. Whatever answer is coming back, you just acknowledge it. Like, yes, thank you for the answer. Thank you. Yeah. So this is a little glimpse of a method I use called deep looking. When I work in groups or privately, that alone gives it a permission to relax, and that's the way into the inner peace, just by really having calm, open and clear mind. Mind is clear when it's relaxed, when it's at ease, when it's wide open and is strong and willing to meet everything that comes up. Mind as a labeling machine, as a naming function. It just names everything that the attention is going to. And to see that in action, you just simply look around the room right now. Look around and you see how mind instantly names the objects it sees. Can you notice also that we don't need to name every little thing in order to perceive it? Okay, if you just look at the room as it is now, do you need to name every color, every shade in order to perceive it? Or you take the room in and all the colors are here. I don't need to name every shade of gray or white in order to know it's there. So there is knowing of what is here and there is a labeling. Now let's just check. What is that is doing this labeling? Is it something happening or is it something that you are doing, that you're making happen? And to check that, can you just stop naming things just for a little bit? Just see how that works. Can mind stay absolutely still? Can you make it still? Can you tell the labeling process to cease for a little and then listens? If you can just compare this, alright, you open your eyes, there are colors. It's like you don't need to do anything at all for these colors to be here, and you cannot do anything at all to change them. They are here, right? And how about thoughts? Are they the same like colors? Are they effortlessly flowing by themselves, or is it something that you have to do to pay attention or to focus on? Also, have a look how these thoughts arrive. Are they arriving one by one after another, or are they coming in like packets or bunches or little buckets of thoughts, like 5 at a time or more? And can you check, can you think 2 thoughts at one time? I can't. For me, it sounds like saying 2 words at the same time. I can just say one word after another, and that's how I perceive these thoughts. They are verbal expressions, they are names and labels of what the attention is going to. So in my experience, I perceive thoughts, one thought at a time, and I don't know what happens next, what thought comes up next until it comes up. Do you? Do you know what thought comes before it comes? I would like to hear that from you. Can you just write in the comments what is your experience of this? Do you know what the next thought will be before it arrives? If you think of a number from 1 to 100, so did you know what number will come? Was it completely random, or was it something that you thought, you made it happen? And do you notice there is a pause between thoughts? There is a little gap of silence in between thoughts. I don't know, your thinking process may be very, very fast and there is not a tiny little microsecond in between the words, but the words are not glued together. They have a little tiny break. That's how we recognize that it's a word. It's finite. So there is a beginning of the word, there is an end, then there is a little gap, then there is another word. Is that true to your thoughts? Is this something that you can observe in your thinking? And let's have a look. Where is the thinker? Is there a thinker at all? Or is this process happening automatically, just like seeing color? You open your eyes, colors are here. So you wake up in the morning, thoughts are here. So is there a thinker of thoughts? Or there is thinking process happening by itself? And if you ask that question, is there a thinker? Is there anyone there? Talking back, answering this question? Is that an automatic reply? Okay, so we have this individual mind that we can only hear. It's like coming from the first perspective. I cannot hear your thoughts, you cannot hear my thoughts. That's what I mean. So we can explore this individual thinking process in our own experience and how that works for you. So we recognize the word, we get the meaning, and we can look at the words as carriers of meaning. So we communicate the meaning. When we hear somebody talking like you're hearing me now, you get the meaning of the words. It doesn't matter what words I use, and I can express this in different ways, but what is important is that the meaning gets communicated. So it lands somewhere, and that's why we need words, and that's what thoughts are. They are just interpretation or symbols of meaning. Mind as imagination, as something that is available for us in the form of images. And that will be the memory, the thoughts about future, all the expectations and hopes, and all interpretation of how I perceive this world, how I perceive myself. It's all in the images. And we can have a look at that process right now, like how and where these images are created. I made a video about mind movies and you will find it in the description. You can watch it. It just goes more into depth about the mind movies and the mind screen where the images are shown. And here I'm just going to mention that our memory and thoughts about future and whole conceptual thinking in images is happening on an invisible screen that we call the mind. Imagination. And you can check where that is for you in your own experience, and to check it's very simple. What did you do yesterday at the same time? Just remember, just the same time yesterday, where were you? What do you see? Do you see yourself doing something? Do you see the environment you're in? How does that memory arise? And where does it arise? Is that memory in front, in the back, on the side? Where is it in space? Where is that screen that you see that memory? So this screen is like an invisible screen that we can focus on, and we can see the images both with eyes open and with eyes closed. It's really fascinating technology application of human system, this imagination. It's so much going on in there, and all this drama and everything, all this suffering, all the pain, all the joy is going on in that mind, on that mind screen. Another aspect we can look at is the commentator. The commentator is something that is always judging, always telling what it perceives, how things are, how they should be, what it wants them to be. This commentator is the voice in the head that we perceive as a voice in the head that is constantly talking. Now the interesting point to look at is, who is it talking to? And who is listening to this commentator? And does this commentator have any influence on what is happening? This is a very interesting point. Does the commentator make things happen? Or is it commenting on something that happened already? There is quite a difference. And if you see that the commentator is talking after the fact, just like in a game, then there is a space, there is an opening into not identifying with that commentator so much anymore. If I notice that thoughts are coming by themselves, I'm not doing anything to make them happen, and all these thoughts in the head about what is happening in reality and in imagination is something that is given to you. It's not something that I'm making. So I don't need to fight with it. I can just watch it. I don't need to become an enemy with that voice in the head. I can allow it to just talk and appreciate it talking. A good metaphor would be a sports game. Do you like watching sports on TV? Sometimes, maybe not. But of course you have seen a game on TV. And you can watch the game without the sound, and you can see the players doing their thing. Let's say it's a football. So the players are running around and kicking the ball and competing for the ball. And you can see and perceive that without any commentator. It's just a little bit maybe boring. And if you put the sound on and hear the commentator will tell about the game. He will tell the best moments of the game, he will introduce the players, he will tell the stories, and it will project what will happen, what would be nice if that happened. So there is a lot going on with that commentator in the game. And if you turn the visual off, you can still hear the commentator and you can still be observing the game, just in a different way. There is no visual anymore. All you hear is talking. And that talking will give you a good idea about what is going on the field, right? So in our own experience, this voice in the head is a little bit like this commentator. It gives an idea what is going on. It gives an idea what happened. It gives an idea what may happen or wants to happen. But the question is Is this commentator directly affecting what is happening in the game? Is it affecting what is happening in my life? Or is it just talking about what happened and has only one influence on how I feel about what is happening? Because if you notice with a football game, there is a game going on. The commentator is not affecting it. But the commentator's speech, what he talks about, affects how we feel about the game. And this is an important thing to understand, that the commentator, all the comment about the game, directly affects how we feel about the game. So with our wrong commentator sitting in the head, talking about our life, we hear the story about what is this life about and how it's going on every day, we want it or not. So he keeps commenting and it makes us feel what we feel about our present situation. And the interesting thing is, if that commentator is telling a beautiful story, we are in heaven. But we can be in the best environment with the best people around and still not happy. And it's because that commentator is telling a sad story, a nasty story, a horrible story, you know? So how to make this commentator to stop telling sad stories about what it is? How to make it clear about what is going on? How to make it to report the truth about what is going on, rather than distorted image from a victim perspective. Because that's normally what is happening. We have this voice in the head, unhappy with our life, with our situation, and it just keeps talking and talking and talking without a break about, poor me, how I am unhappy, how I am depressed, how there is no hope, how there is no way out, how helpless I am. See, but life is going on. Life is going on. This body is doing its own thing. It's eating, it's resting, it's working, it's taking care of family, and everything seems okay. And everything could be peaceful. Only that commentator is making a lot of complaints about what is happening. So if you see that this commentator is not you, you are not the commentator, you are hearing it, you are hearing these thoughts, you are perceiving these thoughts. It's not you talking, it's something that is observed as happening. Then you can immediately have a little distance from that voice. I am seeing that voice, I am not it, I am not the commentator. And the question is, does the commentator know what is really happening, or is just trying to interpret it the best way that it understands for now? What we can find out about language itself and how it is influencing our perception of the world. In English, for example, we always have a noun and verb, and the sentence is constructed by a doer of an action. We have to have somebody or something doing something. For example, I am sitting in a chair, I am talking to you, I am smiling, I am breathing. There is something that is always here doing something. And that's how we perceive. There is I, a separate entity that is doing the action of sitting, that is doing the action of talking and smiling and all that. For example, grass is growing, and in our understanding that comes with the language, we see that there is something that is called grass, and there is an action or function of growing. So there is something doing something. We can describe this experience in many different ways. For example, I am sitting. We can also say the body is sitting in a chair. There is sitting. I feel my bum on a chair. That means I am sitting. I am experiencing the sensations of the body sitting in a chair. It's still the same event, still the same experience. It's just I am not putting the word I in it, and I can observe that this description does not affect what is happening. It's just the word I is like added onto experience as a doer. because the language demands so. So I am sitting in a chair. So we can look, there is a chair, there is a body, there is sitting, and where is the I? Where is the I? Here we go. This is an interesting question because the I comes up in language as part of language. That is a useful way to communicate. We can talk about this body mind and I can call it I. So we know what we are talking about. But in actuality, there is no such an entity as I that is doing sitting, I that is doing thinking, I that is smiling. It's just the way we describe, and that's how we are using the language to describe, with adding on this word I. And to test that, you can just take a quick look in your breathing. Like there is breathing going on. It's going on, you're sleeping, the body is sleeping, or it's awake, it's always on, in and out. The air is going in and out. And we normally say, I am breathing. Where is this I that is doing the breathing? Or is just something that is body automatically doing? Or is it something that is automatically happening without even body doing it? It's just something that is arising. See how labels create an object, create a doer in something that is naturally flowing without any effort. And here's the exercise for you right here and now, just to see how word I is added upon the experience with a description of the experience. And maybe it's not so necessary to communicate the meaning, to communicate what is being observed. So I invite you just for a minute or two to look around the room again, and this time name everything with the word I, including words mine, me. For example, I am looking through the window and I am seeing the green field, the trees, I am hearing the birds singing, and I am enjoying this view. Okay, that would be one way to describe this. And just look around for yourself now and experience that. It's important that you experience that in your own experience, just so you can see it for yourself. It's not me telling you how it is. It's you looking in your own experience and seeing how it is for you. Second way to describe what is happening here is with using only verbs without the subject doing the action. It may seem a little bit strange, but check this out. Looking through the window and seeing green field and trees and feeling happy and joyful and liking the experience and hearing the birds singing. Can you see that describing the same event can happen in a different way? And it doesn't affect what is happening. But just like in Commentator metaphor, the way we describe what is happening affects directly how we feel about what is happening. Like I can look through the same window and say, oh, it's not enough sunshine today. There is a cloud, so I'm not so happy about that. See, I can look through the same window and say different stuff, and I immediately feel like either clear and happy or somehow missing something. So that's the exercise. So you can describe what is happening using words I, me, mine, like a subject doing action, or you can try to just describe what is happening using just verbs alone, and just check how the body feels when it's described differently. Does it feel more open, maybe more relaxed? It's just looking at the mind as a mechanism and how it works, so we can find a way how to help it to relax deeper. Because our inner peace directly depends on the chatter of the mind. Is it going crazy? Is it talking too much? Is it going about stuff that happened many years ago? Or is it here observing what is happening? And is it calm and happy in this moment? Or is it saying that something is lacking, that something should be different? And in the end, I invite you to see the mind as a friend. It is here with us, we want it or not. It is here for us. It is here to make our experience transcribed or interpreted. And so we can feel and understand where we are, how we are, what's going on. So all the fight, all the resistance is the mind talking to itself, trying to figure out, protect, control, manipulate what is happening. But seeing that this is an automatic process, that we are not making it happen, it is just something happening, allows that mind to stop fighting itself. It doesn't need to fight itself. It doesn't really want to fight itself. And to check that, you can just check with your own mind. Does it prefer peaceful openness and spaciousness and ease, or does it prefer to stress itself? Does it like to be in tension? And you will find out your own answer and what is true for you. Thank you for watching this video. It's a great pleasure to share this with you, and I hope that you enjoyed this and explored your own mind together. In the next video, I'm going to talk about the heart and feelings and how to find inner peace inside the heart with all these feelings going on. Stay tuned, and I hope to see you in the next video.